Hello everybody, my name is Mike Geig, and in this video we are going to look at adding some final touches to our game by adding a background. Now I'm going to be the first to admit that this video is sort of like cheating, because basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the parallax background I made from a previous video and I'm going to put it into this game. So, you know, you're not really going to see anything too new here, but we're going to get to add it into the game, so don't expect to be wowed by this one. First thing I want to do is I want to open my objects.h, which we see here with our spaceship and our bullet and our comet and our explosion. Nothing really all that new here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new struct here. So I'm going to do struct background, and this is, like I said, going to be the exact same from previous videos. Do float x, float y, float velocity x, float velocity y, int direction x, int direction y, oops, there we go, int width, int height, and then Allegro bitmap image. Okay, so we'll just get that added in there, so now we can work with our background object, and now we can start just basically adding in the pieces of our background here from our previous video. So I'm going to add some functions here that are going to look pretty familiar. I'm going to have void init background. Now I'm going to pass in a background via reference, and float x, float y, float velocity x. Oops, that's not float. Float velocity x, float velocity y. No, we're not going to do directions in this. We're just going to do int width, int height. We're going to do directions now. Int direction x, int direction y, and then our Allegro bitmap image. Awesome. We're also going to do void update background, which we are going to pass in our background by reference, and we're going to do void draw background, which we're going to pass in our background by reference. Okay, great. So there we go there. I got a red line here. Okay, it's got away. Perfect. All right. And so now that we have those, we'll go ahead and flesh these out here in a second. Let's go ahead and create our in-game objects here. So I'm going to have our background, which is going to be BG background, and then background MG for middle ground, and background FG for foreground. And then I'm going to load in the images here. And I'm going to do Allegro bitmap, and it's going to be BG image equals null. I'm actually just going to copy this line and do MG image and FG image, just like that. And I'll keep coming further down here to where we're loading in our images, and I'm going to do BG image equals AL load bitmap, and it's going to be the same as from our previous videos. It's going to be star bg.png, and I'll grab that. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I will grab that line of code, paste it a couple more times, make that MG and FG, and make this MG and FG. Awesome, awesome, great. Next, we need to go ahead and initialize our backgrounds. I'll do it right here before we do our font. So I'm going to do init background, and all these backgrounds are going to be fairly similar. Pass in BG 0, 0, 1 for my velocity, 0 for my velocity y. My width, it's going to be 800. My height is going to be 600, even though I know this video is by 400, but this is the size of the images. And then we're going to do -1 for our direction x, 1 for direction y, and then BG image for our image. Alright, I'll grab that line of code, paste it 2 more times, make that one MG, that one FG. Now MG is going to move at 3 pixels, and FG is going to move at 5 pixels, because remember the closer images move faster. My middle ground is that much bigger one with the planets, so I want to make that 1600 pixels wide. And then just need to change my images here, MG and FG, just like that. Great. I'm just cascading down the line here. I'm not doing too much explanation here because, like I said, we've seen it all before. In my update, I'm going to do update, background, and I'm going to code BG. I'll grab that line of code 2 more times, MG and FG, just like that. That'll update our background. And then we'll get to our drawing section, our rendering section. Now, rendering, the order is important. Remember, we don't want to override other stuff. We also don't want to draw our backgrounds, while the title screen is up, or the lost screen. So we're going to do it here inside our playing screen. Just going to be draw background and BG. Now grab that line 2 more times. So BG, middle ground, and then foreground. Awesome. And then finally at the very end here, we need to destroy our images. So I'm going to do AL, destroy, bitmap, background. I'm sorry, BG image. Grab that line of code 2 more times. And that'll be MG image and, not capitals. Sorry, there we go. Awesome. So we've created them, we initialize them, we update them, we draw them, and then we destroy them. Awesome. So the only thing really left is to flesh out these 3 functions here. And what I'm going to do is, since this is copy and paste, this is the exact same as our previous video, I'm actually just going to copy and paste these into the program. And if you are not sure what the code does, go back to my parallax background video and just watch it. Otherwise, these are exactly the same. Our init background with all of our init variables. Now I see I have a red line here. Oh, I think yep. Here in background, I see that I accidentally have a semicolon or a colon instead of a semicolon. So there we go, and that fixes that. Fantastic. Okay. So we're initializing here. We update our background there. We draw our backgrounds here. So really, I mean, not a whole lot to this one. Okay, before we run this, I should just pause the video a second here. I forgot to have a semicolon here, so if you're following along, be sure to add this semicolon right here. My apologies for that. So let's go ahead and run this now. And here was our super awesome space shooter, and I will press space to play, and here we go. We have our rockin' background. Sure, the bullets they sort of blend in with the background, but design flaw. I'll blame my design team for that one, and we can go from there. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of meat to this particular video, only because it is what it is. We're just adding a background that we've generated in a previous video, so there's not a whole lot to that. You'll see here when I lose, pay attention to where everything is when I lose, and you'll see we're all back to where we need to be when we start back up here. So awesome. So that's backgrounds. Like I said, not a whole lot to that. In the next video, we are going to add some audio.